What's up, everybody? Welcome to another NBA rundown courtesy of Run Pure Sports and Run Pure Bets. Please be sure to like and subscribe to this video and give us a warm welcome to today's guest, Joey Werk. How you doing today, Joey?
What's up, spread? Happy to be back. Last time we're out here, I gave out my Suns -1, and that was an easy casher. So I'm excited to be back. I ran down the card myself, and I'm ready to go.
Yeah, and Phoenix has got probably one of the most exciting games on the card, but we'll go in chronological order, so we'll get to that after we go toward the games that will be starting earlier. So the first game will be at 8 o'clock Eastern, 5 o'clock out here for us on the West Coast, and that's the Bulls. They will be heading to play the Rockets, who have been in an absolute free fall or free dive, whatever you want to call it. They're doing terrible. Since the loss of Christian Wood, it looks like DeMarcus Cousins is on his way out. I don't think that he'll be playing as they've decided he's going to go out, which doesn't make sense to me because they still need bigs. And then we're going with the Bulls team that basically, Zach LaVine is making a case for the All-Star game. I never thought he was going to be this good or this effective, and I can't deny how good that Zach LaVine has been for the Bulls. So I'm leaning Chicago here just because I'm going to just fade this streak that the Rockets are on, and until they prove they can win a game without Christian Wood, I'll just continue to fade them. So I'm looking at the Bulls here. Joey, what do you think about this game?
I agree, man. Houston lost 7 straight. They're clearly tanking. I mean, I watched the game 2 games ago when they played the Knicks, right? The game was close going into the fourth. The Knicks outscoring by about 10, maybe a little more in the fourth. And you could tell they pulled their starters to start the fourth. So, a team that wants to win, normally in the fourth, if they're down, they're probably down about 5 going into the fourth. A team that wants to win, their starters are in there to the fourth probably. The first 6 minutes, they go on a bad run, and the starters never even return to the game. This team is tanking. You can't tell me nowhere different. They return to home. They played 5 or 6 on the road, finally go back in home. They haven't played since last Wednesday, 2 cancellations in between. I know the news, there's all news of Boogie getting traded or whatnot. Eventually, they probably just cut him. He'll go sign with the Lakers. But, past John Wall, this team sucks. The bench is ass. Upper management clearly has quit on them. They don't even want to win anymore. This team is in full tank mode. I think the Bulls is the right side here. At least they go in there. They're not the great team, but they go in there every game and try to battle.
Yeah.
They won 3 of
It's
their
funny.
last
I'm a
4.
big fan of the Athletic, and this morning I woke up and read it, and it seemed like every team had a different article why DeMarcus Cousins is not a good fit. So I really don't know where he goes. I think he's so tough at this point. The injuries have sapped him of all his quickness. He was never that big to begin with. And then also you look at the way the game has evolved since he was a star here in Sacramento 6-7 years ago to now, where if you're a big, even if you're quick, you're getting attacked on the perimeter in these because they're attacking the switches in the pick and roll. So Cousins becomes even that much more of a liability. With Houston having no bigs, I can understand why he was getting minutes and he had some okay offensive games, but it's just so tough from a defensive end because he's such a liability. Now, Joey, this total is sitting here at, let me pull it up. What's the total at now? They switched the layup, and it's not up on Bookmaker for right now. 227 here. I don't know. I guess I would lean towards the under. I don't really like the total, but I don't know if I love Chicago, of course, to score the points. I don't know if Houston's gonna be able to keep up for this total to go over. What do you think?
Yeah, I feel the same way. The Bulls love to push the pace in conference games, which this is, in non-conference games, which this is. The Bulls hit the over 78% clip, 11-3 to the over. So I think the Bulls are going to score, but I don't know what we're going to get out of Houston. So I'm just going to stay away from that. But the Bulls, they won 3 of their last 4. They love to cover the number, 4th best in the NBA against the spread.
Mm-hmm.
Give me the Bulls -1.
All right. Well, we're on the same page
Yeah,
on
give me the
that
Bulls.
game.
Who do you know that's got a Denzel Valentine jersey? Huh?
I think it's
Denzel
you
Valentine.
and like 2 of Denzel Valentine's family members. So,
Yep, that's right. Bulls
that,
-1 to the
that
bank.
that's that's fantastic. I love it. I love it. So let's see if you're gonna have a prop for this next game, and that's the Memphis Grizzlies heading to take the Dallas Mavericks. Joey, before we started, I told you that this is a take the points type of day. I don't know if this is one of the games that I will be taking the points in here, though. The Mavericks traditionally do well against the Memphis Grizzlies, and the Memphis Grizzlies were, they've been on a hot streak, but boy, they got blown out on Saturday night, losing by what is it? 31 points to Phoenix. After that, they had wins over Detroit and Oklahoma City, but they lost to New Orleans. They're beating their teams they're supposed to beat, but they're struggling against the good teams. Dallas, is finally itching its way back to 500 after having all those injury issues. They're coming off a tough loss against Portland, in which I thought they played pretty well. So I'm looking at this game. I'm leaning towards the Mavericks -5 here, but I don't necessarily love it. Total is 232.5. And I didn't really love a side there either. I think this is one of the toughest games on the slate. What do you think about it?
I mean, so since Valanciunas came back, Memphis has played much better. I know they got blown out last game, but they got to come in here. We're motivated and probably get out early this game. Both these teams have been rolling, though. Dallas winners of 5 of 7.
Mm-hmm.
This is the first time these two teams played each other. But, I mean, Dallas, in this 5 of 7, the best team they beat was the Hawks, maybe. They just beat teams they should beat, This is the 7th straight game for Dallas at home. Memphis leads Tennessee for the first time in 5 games. They're a solid team against the number as for Memphis. As the away team 7-4 covering. Dallas, they suck against the number, man, especially covering. I mean, they're covering a less than 40% clip. They're 6-11 as a favorite covering, 3-11 at home, 5-12 in division covering. I mean, everything's pointing me to taking the points here with the Grizzlies. This is the first 2 times these two teams played each other. As I said, I also like Jonas Valanciunas player prop for points and rebounds. I would probably go after that because who's going to handle him down low? Not Porzingis. That's for damn sure.
Yeah, I think that not to go on too much of a tangent, but your Knicks got out of that Porzingis contract at the right time. Talk about selling high, right? I mean, the perfect time to get him. They got a great return. I mean. At this point, Tim Hardaway Jr. might be helping the team more than Porzingis. Obviously, Porzingis does have the potential, right? But we just haven't seen it. And where we're really losing it from him, he's still a threat from the outside, right? He's the prototypical stretch 5. There's just rim protection isn't there. And I don't want to be too hard on him. I think that does have something to do with the injuries, right? We talked about DeMarcus Cousins being a little slower, not being able to jump the same. I think Porzingis is having some of those same issues. But hey, I mean, when you're 7'3", I mean, these guys, a lot of times their bodies aren't built for basketball. Anyone who is a Greg Oden fan, can just remember sometimes for these 7-footers that are that athletic, it's so hard for their bodies to keep up. Robert Kahn makes a good point. Mavericks barely any practices this week, obviously with everything that's going on in Texas with the lack of power, lack of water, and they're doing great things in the community. I saw the Mavericks and the Houston Rockets players all chipping in to make sure people get meals, helping to get the power back on. Maybe they were a little bit preoccupied. The more we talk about it, Joey, I think you're making a good point. Maybe I do lean towards taking the points here. I see 5.5, and the total is 232. What did you think about the total? Would you lean over or under?
I probably lean over, but no particular take there.
Yeah, I think honestly the best point is probably Valanciunas just rebounds straight up. Unless it's higher than 11.5, it's off the board for me at Bookmaker right now. But that'll be something I'm looking at as soon as it re-enters the market. And boy, wonder if Memphis will take money here. But yeah, maybe grabbing the 5.5 is the right look here. So I think you got some great insight on that game. Now let's go to the jersey that you're wearing. The team that you really like, and that's the Phoenix Suns, winners of 11 out of their last 13. What a run this team is on. They had that tough loss to Brooklyn. Gosh, I can't remember what night that was, but boy, they really blew that lead. But they came back in New Orleans, huge win. Then an even bigger win in Memphis, right? And they're going against the Portland team. Hey, who's hot in their own right? Portland's won
7 of 8.
Yeah, 7 of their last 8, looking great. Although most recently, I think that was a tough loss. Tyler and I were quite disappointed because, we were all over Portland in that game. We thought they would run the Wizards. Damian Lillard, unfortunately, just couldn't get it going. He had 35 points, but still 10 of 30 overall. And, the 12-point second quarter just really did us in as Portland backers there. So this was one of the ones where I actually, I said take the points, but I was thinking Phoenix might cover here. They've just been playing so well. And then, when we look at it, how do they match it? How's Portland match up with DeAndre Ayton? Even on both sides of the ball, I think he'll do great defensively too. So what do you see in this game?
Yeah, I mean, both these teams are red hot. Blazers 7 of 8, Phoenix 8 of 9.
Mhm.
Phoenix scoring at ease late. Their defense has been locked down. They're second best team in the NBA against the spread, only behind the Jazz, covering at over a 65% clip. Behind
Mhm.
Chris Paul, fourth in this team, the defense locked down, ranked fourth in points allowed per game, second in defense against the three, and fifth in defense effective field goal percentage. Phoenix covering 67% of their home games, 75% when they are the home favorite. I mean, now Portland after a loss, they have good numbers as well. 7-2 against the spread after a loss as a away team, 11-4. I mean, basically the Suns aren't a team I really want to step in front of here, especially with Portland not fully healthy. I mean, as you said, DeAndre Ayton, who's going to guard him? Cantor? I don't think so. You
No.
know, it's
No.
hard. I have a hard lean towards the Suns here, but nothing official.
Yeah, I mean 6 points is always rough to lay, but and I'm a big Portland guy myself, and I've been really impressed. I was ready to write them off when they lost, the combination of McCollum and Nurkic. Already missing Zach Collins, and boy, just he seemed like such a fantastic player coming out of Gonzaga. Has not been able to stay healthy. Really too bad for him, but really impressed with the way this team's coming together. You have to like the development of Gary Trent Jr. really coming into a star in his own right. Carmelo, we say what we want about him, still a little bit of a liability on the defensive end, but boy, he can still get buckets when you need to, especially in those tough half court situations towards the end of the game. My main issue with the Carmelo, and I don't know why Terry Stotts is doing this, he should never be on the floor with Cantor at the same time. It just puts too much pressure on just an already bad defense. Lillard isn't the best defensively. I don't think it's due to lack of effort. He just, for whatever reason, he's just not one of the better defenders. And then you get Cantor and Carmelo, and you just can't get stops. So I think it's really tough for them. So I do kind of lean Phoenix here. Let me go ahead. What was the total on this game?
227, 226 and a half.
Yeah, 227. What do you think about the total?
I mean, Portland plays no defense, as you said.
Hmm.
So I probably an under though at the end of the day because Phoenix will
Hmm.
lock down Portland. Not really. If they lock down Dame, I mean, scoring, the black hole in Carmelo. Once it goes in, it doesn't come out. It just goes to the rim.
Right.
But yeah, I guess it would be a lean towards under, but nothing I'm crazy about.
Yeah, I'd probably lean towards the under too, but I think the sides are a lot easier to attack than the totals today. Another one where I was thinking about taking the points, but I'll tell you what, you got to hold your nose when you're doing it because you're going up against the red hot Miami Heat, but they are laying 6.5 on the road to the covering machine that is the Oklahoma City Thunder. Hey, Miami's coming off. They blew that game against Golden State. That was a rough one. I know the whole Discord was up in arms about that, and we were on it from the rundown show last Wednesday. But they bounced back. They beat Sacramento. Doesn't say much, but hey, then they beat the Lakers in what I thought was a really fun game to watch on Saturday night, and kind of gave me some of those bubble vibes of that Miami team that just was able to lock down so well. Only 96 to 94 in that game, really showing that Miami can still defend. Now, OKC is coming off a win over Cleveland, but hey, everybody's beating Cleveland right now. Before that, they had 3 losses, and they weren't even able to cover after. I think there's adjustment here because they were covering so much. They're not getting as many points as they used to. Now they're getting 6.5 at home. Is this a lit down spot for Miami, or do you think they keep rolling?
I think so. The Heat, the winners of 2 in a row versus the dismantled Lakers and your Kings. But
Hmm.
they've really struggled. They're 13-17 overall this year. Who would have thought,
Yeah,
that the Knicks would have a better record than them at this time?
I
So
know.
they need to win games like this, versus ugly OKC team. They
Hmm.
played better on the road, especially covering the number. I
Yeah.
expect them to win, but 7, that's a tough number. Although in their 13 wins, 9 of them are by more than 7. This is the
Hmm.
first time these two played. The first time they two played each other, Miami beat them by 28.
Hmm.
So as for the Thunder, they're off a win. You know what that means? They don't win the next game. That's for damn sure. They've only won 2 games in a row twice all year. I mean, and it was early in the season. They haven't done that in more than a month. I mean, the Thunder's not a team I can back. 4-8 covering as a home underdog. This is a
Hmm.
stay away game with me, but my lean would be just laying the point with the Heat.
All right. Yeah. Well, if Joey says delay, he leans towards taking the point. So if he says delay, it might be a good spot there. 212 is the total here. Boy, coming off, what is that, like a 190-point outing against the Los Angeles Lakers? 212 seem a little high to you? Or I mean, that's the lowest total on the board. What are you thinking about the total?
Yeah, it probably does seem a little, but I mean, even the last game they scored. I think OKC only scored 90 points in that game. It was 118 to
Mhm.
90.
Yeah.
So that one it went 208. So it still landed under. Do I think OKC scores more than 90 points? Probably, but Miami putting up 118. That probably doesn't happen. So yeah, I mean it's tough. I probably lean a little over though.
Yeah, once it gets as low as 212, and it is 2021, where we're running, we're getting up and down the floor quickly, and we're firing off those 3 pointers. 212 is quite a low total, so interesting to see where that one lands. All right, Joey, let's see if you're with me on this one as far as taking the points. The Charlotte Hornets, a team that I've loved to back this year, 16 and 12 against the spread, 14 and 15 overall, heading to face the hottest team in the NBA, the Utah Jazz, 24 and 6 and 22 and 7 against the spread. But hey, I'm catching 12 and a half here. What do you think, Joey?
Yeah, I mean the Hornets have been playing better of late. Winners of 4 of the last 6, but they were all
Hmm.
versus sub 500 teams.
Exactly.
This is the second matchup between these two. Jazz beat them by 17 first time around.
Hmm.
The Hornets have been surprisingly against the spread, 16 and 12 overall, covering a number, 13 and 8 as an underdog, and 7 and 5 as an away team. As you mentioned, the Jazz best record in NBA, best team covering at home, 12 and 3 covering the number at home, 20 and 7 as a favorite. I mean, this is tough. I could see the Jazz run away with this one, but I guess if I was forced to take a hand, give me the points.
Yeah. 12 and a half just seems too much for a Hornets team that actually is playing good basketball. They have a nice rotation, and I think they match up quite well. I think they do have the guys on the outside, Bridges, to kind of slow down Mitchell. I think they can stick with the 3-point shooters on the line, and I think they can bring it up themselves. I mean, hey, is there a hotter guy in the NBA right now than Terry Rozier? I mean, it's been fantastic the stuff that he did. Did you see the way he's been finishing games?
Yeah, I mean, they gift wrapped at him that last game versus the Warriors. Fuck, they gave technical to Draymond, then
Yeah.
they get the ball back and then he makes that shot. I just watched that back like a couple times, and you just see
Yeah.
the whole. I think it's Steph on the sideline, or it might not be Steph because he didn't play. It might be, but somebody takes a towel and just throws it right into the ground. Right? Is that?
Yeah. Well,
Yeah,
yeah, I
that
mean,
was.
Draymond completely lost the plot on that game. I don't know. I mean, he admitted that he was in the wrong, and that was not the right reaction. But for a guy as a veteran like him, you know, really
They got
disappointing. But the point is, when Draymond made the mistake, right? It's almost like in UFC, right? You make a miss and then you make them pay. You make a miss and then you don't land the counter. It doesn't mean much.
well. I
They took
mean,
advantage of the mistake, and so I was really impressed with Terry Rozier. I thought that was a fantastic shot.
my men's league team could have took advantage of that. They're down two. They get two free throws and the ball back. Come on, that was
All right.
a.
Well, maybe we'll start handicapping your men's league team at the end of the rundown because we'll see how they do. The last game on the card tonight. Boy, I hate to say it, Troy, but I'm leaning towards taking the points again. The Los Angeles Lakers, who are 22 and 9, but only 14 and 17 against the spread, are now laying it against the Washington Wizards, who are kind of coming alive now. Westbrook seems to be a little more healthy. Had a great game against Portland, dropping that triple double the other night. We know Bradley Beal's good for about 34, 35 every night. And this Lakers team, boy, you can see how much they miss Anthony Davis. Is 7 too much here for the Lakers to be laying?
I mean, and no Dennis Schroeder. Schroeder's like
Yeah.
without Davis, okay, but they need somebody. Schroeder, like now they got no. This team looks bad.
Yeah.
This team, the Lakers have looked bad these last couple games. It's basically LeBron Kuzma show. If they don't score, they ain't covering the number.
Mm-hmm.
If you lock down like Marcus Gasol shooting threes, he sucks.
Mm-hmm.
Then they got Wesley Matthews and Caldwell Pope. Those guys are like, they should be coming off the bench for a good team. They shouldn't be starting on a good team.
Right.
They need to get some bodies. I mean, I like the big guy they got from the Clippers off the bench, but still, he's
Harrell.
not that big. He's not that
Yeah.
big. Yeah. So, I mean, and Washington, as you said, they keep scoring. This team, they play no defense, but they can score.
Right.
Do the Lakers lock down on defense and win this game by margin? I mean, the way they've been playing recently, probably not. I would say the Lakers get off to a good start here. They're probably up by like 5 at halftime, but Washington comes back, scores a lot, and they probably, they might win the game outright. Who knows? But I definitely like the points in this one too. I mean, on the road is way underdog, 6-5 covering the number, is away team 7-6. So Washington's covering the number at a decent clip, 13-14 overall in the year. And I mean 7 is this line should be like 4.
Yeah, I mean, I think you have one team that's trending upward against a team that's trending downward for obvious reasons, right? And I mean, it really gets into it for the Lakers, and this is where I miscapped it in the very first game. I thought LeBron was going to try and pick it up for try and get this MVP votes, but I think he's on cruise control now too. And let's be honest, this team is still, even if they end up in the 3 or 4 seed, right? I'd still say they're the number 1 contender for the title, assuming that they're healthy. So the health to them right now is much more important than winning these games in February. Speaking of February, Lakers shooting under 30% from 3 in the month of February, and as we've seen in this new NBA, I mean, if you just look at the 3-point percentages, you can tell who wins. It's always been a make or miss league, but never more so now than now. So I'm going to go ahead and take the points here. I see a total of 227. That's low for a Wizards game, but you remember the Lakers go under a lot. I mean, the Lakers are an under team, so you have an under team versus an over team. Doesn't seem like a smash spot to me. Boy. I guess I would lean over just because the Wizards are just so bad defensively, but I don't think I want to get involved. Did you have a lean there?
Yeah, I'm going to stay away too because I could see the Lakers locking it down. But I think if it goes under, it's more than likely that Washington covers the number. So, but that's going to be an interesting game. I'm definitely going to watch it. And the Lakers need another big. They need a trade for another big before the trade deadline. They need a big that's a real big, not somebody like Marc Gasol who thinks he's going to shoot threes, bro. Stay down low, get rebounds, and pass the ball. That's it. You don't even need to play offense.
Yeah, no, I mean, Gasol's been a great player, and he was so pivotal in that Raptors championship run, but it just shows you how in the NBA or in athletics in general, when you get old, you can get old quickly. He just looks too slow now at this point. And if he's not hitting above 35% from 3, like, what is he really doing on the floor? The rotations just aren't as crisp on the defensive end. I mean, he was so good against Joel Embiid a couple years ago to allow them to get there. And he's just not the same player anymore. Unfortunately, I think, they got that. They got him a year too late. He's more of a name now than he is an actual almost like just DeMarcus all over again, Although he doesn't have the injuries to slow him down, it's just he's lost so much off his fastball and off his quickness. So I think it's really tough for Marc Gasol right now. And Montrezl Harrell's always been a player that he brings energy. He's tough, but he can be inconsistent, right? And he's kind of just like a hustle guy. And sometimes when that hustle doesn't get you there, it can be rough for him. Now, I believe that Russell Westbrook's going to be fired up for this game. Sometimes that can be a bad thing, though. Do you think he'll be too fired up and it works against him and we see everything going off the back of the rim because he's just too fired up?
Probably not. I don't know. I'm a Russ guy personally.
I like Russ too.
Yeah, I know a lot of people don't like him, but I like him, man. The guy, he works hard, and that's basically all you can ask for,
Right,
So
right.
I definitely like the guy. He's probably gonna run his mouth, and it'll be fun. It'll be a fun game to watch, that's for sure. And without AD, I mean, and no Schroeder, I'm gonna put a little shekels on Washington money line.
All right, I'm with you there. So, because this is a gambling show, I know you might have more than one bet or less than one bet. But just let me know. We give everyone a best bet at the end of the show. What is your best bet for the day?
I am taking the Memphis Grizzlies plus 5.5.
Excellent. That sounds like a plan. So I'll have to make sure that gets in the Discord for all the Run Pure Bets members. I'm going to go ahead and take the Chicago Bulls. The Zach LaVine All-Star Tour continues, and I'm just going to keep fading this Houston team. There's a couple teams that are on my fade list right now. The Detroit Pistons, the Cleveland Cavaliers, and the Houston Rockets. We're going to keep this train rolling. Usually we have to wait till the All-Star break to start fading these bad teams. Hey, this year we can go a little early, and it's been such a wacky year. I'll take it. I like finding these spots and these trends that we can just go ahead and run away with until the bookmakers go ahead and recover. So I'm going to go ahead and give out the Chicago Bulls. Joey, did you have anything you wanted to tell everybody before we get out of here?
I mean, let's just nothing exactly, but I'll be back tomorrow and the next day with NCAA basketball plays. One for subscribers, one for the public.
Mm-hmm.
Then we got some UFC coming up. SauceBay.com, Joey Werk. We're here.
Yeah,
Thank you, Spread.
we came off such a weekend, right? I mean, HCP went 4-0 yesterday. I hit both my plays this weekend. Tyler's been on fire. I know you guys did well in the UFC, and then our guy the Keg hit a 50-1 in NASCAR. Like, what is going on over at Run Pure right now?
And Snyder hit the winner of the golf tournament at 70-1.
Oh my gosh, I missed the golf.
Yeah.
I was so much watching tennis, I missed the golf. Unbelievable. See, I can't even keep up with all the winning that's going on over at runpurebets.com. So, guys, please head on over to runpurebets.com. Check out what we have to offer for $60 a month. You'll get access to the Discord. You get access to our best plays of the day. You'll get access to the subscriber-only videos. Now, I know Jay was live on Sunday, but he was private all week. The subscribers were in there cashing tickets. It was just fantastic work from the whole team this week. So I'm so excited to be a part of runpurebets.com. Guys, once again, please like the video. Please subscribe to keep us up in the algorithms. I'm not even sure what that means, but that's what we're doing. We're firing up these algorithms. Joey, I want you. Oh, Tyler brings up a great point. How did I forget the fact that JJ's like 12-2 on his last 14 college basketball picks?
True.
Thank you, Tyler, for reminding me. How could I forget? Our fearless leader, JJ, go ahead and killing it too. There's so much winning going on, I can't even keep track. I mean, it feels like now I know how it feels to be Naomi Osaka. Just can't keep track of all the winning. But Joey, I wanted to thank you for joining me. I think we will be back again with you again later this week. Let's hope that your Phoenix Suns get done because I love seeing you in the jersey. And thank you for everybody for joining us. Head on over to runpurebets.com. Check out Run Pure Sports as well. Get the combo deal for $100. There's not a better deal in sports gambling. So head on over there. Check us out. Thank you for joining us. And